This meditation is a very simple one. We are just going to take time to breathe and engage in some biofeedback to remind ourselves that we have some control over our responses to all the emotions in our lives. And so we begin by either closing our eyes or looking at the image in front of you, or some spot in the room you're in that draws focus for you. And I invite you to pay attention to your breath. Don't force your breath. Just pay attention to the natural ebb and flow of your breathing. And for a few minutes, see if you can clear your mind by just concentrating on the way that the air feels coming in through your nose and out through your mouth. The coolness of the air when you inhale. The warmth of the air heated by your body as you exhale. If thoughts come to your mind, just let them pass. Return to the breath and focus on the smallest detail to distract your mind from all those other things, at least just for a few moments. Because our bodies do what they need to do in terms of keeping us alive without much notice on our part, unless something goes wrong, we often take that for granted. We don't think about the breath, our heart beating, the synapses in our brain firing, our muscles expanding and contracting our lungs. And yet, when we are stressed, our bodies hold that in those very places, again without our notice. And so, for this meditation, we're going to draw attention to some of those spots. Breathe into them a little bit and give them some much needed attention as we let go of that stress. And we begin with our lungs, with the breath. We breathe often just enough to get by, but we don't breathe deeply. We don't fill our lungs. We don't fully exhale. Tension keeps our breath shallow and rapid. And so for the next couple of minutes, intentionally breathe deeply. With each breath, see if you can fill your lungs just a little bit more. With each exhale, imagine pushing the last bits of air out of your lungs. Breathing in and feeling as if you are expanding that air to the very bottom of your lungs. And again, back out. And just spend a couple of moments in deep breath. Sometimes when I engage in this exercise, I find that I have a little catch in my breath, that partway through inhaling, it's like my lungs want to stop. Breathe deeply. Fill past that, as if you're retraining your lungs, reminding them of their full expanse. Remember that as you breathe and breathe deeply, you're raising your blood oxygen level, which is feeding all those cells of your body, restoring and renewing your health. So deep breath isn't just about relaxation or letting go of tension. It's also a gift of nourishment we give to our bodies. So as you continue to breathe deeply, imagine that oxygen being carried from your lungs into your bloodstream, flowing throughout your body, everywhere, nourishing your brain and your muscles and your internal organs, going all the way out to the tips of your fingers. All the way down to your toes. The other thing that happens when we breathe is that when we exhale, our body is letting go of those parts of the air that we don't need or use. It's also expelling anything in our bloodstream that is picked up in that exchange of air that doesn't serve our bodies. And so for a few moments as you continue to breathe deeply, I want you to imagine that as that oxygen flows throughout your body, that when that circulation returns to your lungs and you exhale, that you're letting go of anything that your body doesn't need. Not only toxins, but also stress. And so as you exhale, imagine letting go. As you do this, you may experience a relaxation in your muscles. That as you are consciously feeding that oxygen to the cells of your body and letting go of what is not useful, that your muscles relax, healthy and renewed by this experience. Just breathe into that relaxation just for a few moments. Now we bring our attention to our heart, continuing to breathe deeply, continuing to relax and let go. See if you can relax enough, breathe deeply enough to allow your heart rate to slow down a little bit. Don't take your pulse or concentrate of the sound of your heart beating in your chest or ringing in your ears. Just breathe, and as you deepen in relaxation, imagine your heart rate slowing. As if you're giving it permission to slow down, to not beat so fast or so hard, but to just do the slow, steady work that's required of it. And one last thing. We bring our attention to our mind. We so often associate our mind and our brain as one thing. But the mind and the brain are a bit different. Our brain is made up of cells that are connected by neurons that fire and help us to think, to move, to process. Our brains have enough to do. And continuing to breathe deeply and nourish our brains, we also, as we've slowed down our heart, imagine as if we are just allowing our brain to do its basic functions, to keep us alive. See if we can slow down all the firing of all those neurons just a little bit, letting go of what's not essential. It helps me to imagine it as kind of a lightning storm. And so often when we are stressed or anxious, we have a violent storm, electrical storm going on in our minds. We're not even aware of it. But it has our heart rate up and our pulse throbbing and us breathing shallowly and the tension in our bodies. So I like to imagine that that storm is dissipating. There's still bits of lightning, but now they're on the horizon. It's not violent anymore, but peaceful. Just doing what it needs to do. As we prepare to draw this meditation to a close, let us be mindful that we have given our bodies a break. We have provided healing, nourishing energy. We have allowed our bodies, our minds, our hearts, our lungs to just do what they need to do for a few moments without carrying the weight of all our stress and worry. And our bodies are grateful for these moments. Remembering that you can return to this practice, this space, anytime you feel like you need to slow down, to breathe deeply, and to relax, to give your body a break. You can do so. And so with one final deep breath, we draw our meditation to a close. And when you are ready, you may open your eyes.